Time to welcome in NFL Network analyst Bucky Brooks. The NFL draft is upon us for 2023. We'll get to maybe what the Jaguars could do at number 24 overall coming up. But, Bucky, there's been an offseason of change, some changes for the Jaguars, of course. They've had a few players go away in free agency. They've made some additions in free agency, not as many as the last couple of years. But most notably, the biggest addition is Calvin Ridley, the wide receiver, another weapon for this offense, and that could be a big game changer.
Big game changer. Probably one of the biggest that we've seen in some time. When you think about what Calvin Ridley can do for this offense, he can take this offense from good to great. And that is very important when you think about the landscape of the AFC, the quarterback play in the AFC. What Calvin Ridley can do to the weapons that are around Trevor Lawrence is he actually can reset the pecking order. Meaning, if he plays to the level that he's played at in the past, he becomes the number one. It puts Christian Kirk in a more natural position of being the number two. Evan Ingram and Zay Jones can compete to be the third option in the passing game. And it makes it a very difficult offense to defend. Who are you going to double team? Who are you willing to leave singled up? How does Doug Peterson want to create and exploit mismatches on the perimeter? All of that is now available because Calvin Ridley comes over and gives you a Pro Bowl caliber playmaker on the perimeter.
Bucky, we mentioned some of the players that went away. Shaq Griffin is gone, was released by the team, of course. Jawan Taylor's now with the Kansas City Chiefs. The Jaguars' right tackle will play left tackle in Kansas City. So let's move it forward to draft focus. Are those positions some that the Jaguars could focus on at number 24 overall? And who do you like in those two positions?
Well, I mean, they obviously can look at that spot, but some of the answers to the problems could be internal. Walker Little could fill the role vacated by Jawan Taylor, and so it doesn't make it mandatory that the Jaguars have to go and get an offensive tackle at the top of the board. But it's something that you certainly want to look at. You want to address. You want to make sure that you have enough depth there to be able to play a full season, particularly with Cam Robinson returning off of an injury. When it comes to like Shaq Griffin, yeah, I would say cornerback is a top priority. Not only because you lost him, but because of the way the team played last year. You get a sense that they want to be a little more bend but don't break on defense, maybe play a little more zone. Well, to do that, you got to have guys that can really excel at that. And the nickel cornerback position is the one that you really want to look at. You move Darius Williams from inside to outside, and so there's a huge void being that fifth nickel, that fifth defensive back on the field. And what is a package that you play maybe 70, 75%? So you need to make sure that you have someone who's a high-end slot defender that can play there. And so you may go to the draft looking for that.
Can you get that at 24 overall? Who do you like at the corner spot, inside, outside? And then if they have to go tackle there, who do you think could be available?
Okay, so inside, outside defensive back, I think Brian Branch from Alabama is the guy that you naturally connect the dots with the Jaguars. He plays in the slot at Alabama, very comfortable, high-end player, very productive, instincts, IQ. He has all those things that you look for. If you go another route where you want to maybe bring in outside corner, Keely Ringo from Georgia, Deonte Banks from Maryland, those are some viable options that would allow you to put those guys outside and kick Darius Williams back inside to play nickel. So there are a few different options when it comes to that. At offensive tackle, it'd be interesting because it depends on when the run on offensive tackle happens. Some of the guys that you would love to be there, Darnell Wright from Tennessee, he might be long gone by the time you get to 24. So you could be looking at guys like Antoine Harrison from Oklahoma, who could be available. Cody Mock from North Dakota State is another guy that could be available. A lot of it depends on what happens early in the draft. And so the Jaguars just have to be ready to pounce, and they have to be aggressive if there's someone that they want. They may have to move up a couple spots to get that done.
Bucky Brooks with us. Quickly, Bucky, moving ahead after the draft. Obviously the Jaguars had a great run in December and January to get to the playoffs and had the playoff win. So is that the standard moving ahead? What should be the goal for the Jaguars team in the 2023 season ahead?
Number one thing, you want to win a division. You win a division, it gives you an automatic ticket into the dance. So you want to make sure you take care of that. Last year, you won the division, but you want to win it in convincing fashion. You want to dominate the division and do that. And then after you go for the division, you want to put yourself in a position to get a high seed. Yes, everyone wants to play for the number one seed, but If you're able to get the number 1 seed, it gives you 2 games in the Super Bowl. And so I think for the Jaguars, the goals have to be in that order: win the division, compete for the number 1 seed, and then anything after that will put you in range to still accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. But those 2 things will give you the easiest road to become a Super Bowl participant.
The Jaguars dominating the division. Bucky Brooks dominating this segment as always. We'll talk to you again down the line, Bucky. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me.